Some people love their jobs. Some people hate their jobs. Other people just don't really care one way or the other. They're just trying to get by. But jobs take a lot of time in our lives, usually at least 8 hours, sometimes a lot more. People come to me with their challenges all the time about their careers, where they're going, what they want to do. These are the top 3 things that I keep hearing in my practice on a day-to-day basis about people dealing with job dissatisfaction and stress right now. The number one thing people really talk about is that they never have enough time. There's always too much to do, never enough time, never enough people, never enough resources, never enough money. There's just never enough to get the job done. So what is corporate culture? What does it do? It really trains people to think that everything is an emergency. There's always a fire drill. There's always a meeting. There's always a deadline. But the fact is, a lot of these things are manufactured. It's not real. We're not doing rocket science. We're not doing surgery. No one's gonna die if this meeting is pushed back a day. And that's one thing a lot of people have a lot of trouble understanding. Nothing is really that important. There's really not an emergency going on. A lot of the stress that people feel is really from this idea that they're going to look bad. Something is not going to get done. They're going to drop the ball. Their boss is going to look at them the wrong way. They're not going to get the bonus. They're not going to get something. But at the end of the day, really, if you think about it, a lot of what we do, especially in corporate culture, is a lot of PowerPoint decks. Is a PowerPoint deck really that important? Or are we just trained to think these things are important? So remember, no one is going to die. It really doesn't matter. So the second thing people are saying is they feel guilty when they're not working. They don't know what to do with themselves. What do I do on a holiday if I don't have my phone with me all the time? What do I do on the weekend if I'm not putting together something for a meeting the next week? So what people are really saying here is that my identity is wrapped up in my job. That's who I am. That's what makes me whole. That's what gives me value. But the fact is, when your job is everything, when your identity is your job, it's really hard to enjoy all of the other parts of life, because actually the job is just a small part of who you are. So when you tie your identity to that next KPI, the next quarterly numbers, the next meeting, the next project, it really becomes unsustainable, especially because with a lot of these companies that many of my clients work for, at the end of the day, we're just a line item on a balance sheet. So putting your identity and making it who you are as your job it's not a sustainable practice. So the third thing that I keep hearing a lot in my sessions when people are talking about their careers, they're just not happy. They say it out loud, I am not happy. And if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense, because the way that we're taught, the way that we are brought up, we're always taught to get that next promotion, get the next raise, get the next title. And if we're always striving for the next thing, we can never be happy with what we have. And that's where the problem comes in, because once we get what we've been trying to achieve for so long, we're on to the next thing. So we can never sit there and really enjoy the moment, enjoy what it is that we have. So if your happiness is tied up in getting the next promotion, the next raise, the cool parking space, the corner office, you're constantly going to be chasing something that you're never going to have, because you always want the next thing and you can never savor what it is that you have right now. So if there's one thing you take away from today, remember this. At some point, that corporate ladder that you're climbing, it stops being ambition and it becomes a trap, because you're always looking for the next thing.